Welcome, my beautiful souls, and welcome, my beautiful Capricorns. This is going to be your May 2025 reading. Um, this is going to be for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, always. Those intuitively guided, always. Thank you for paying attention to your intuition. You could certainly be in love with a Capricorn, platonically, romantically. I know a few of you share my granddaughter Faith's birthday, which is December 26th. All of a sudden, I forgot it. Um, but yeah, so, um, this is a type of reading where, well, all my readings, I really connect to our spirit guides. So, you really want to trust your intuition within this reading. You can certainly ask your spiritual team to give you signs of confirmation, let you really feel it. You should feel it. It is an energy exchange, it's a soul to soul reading. So let's go ahead and get into your reading. By the way, I just want to let you know real quick, I did a special for you um, about 2 weeks ago, I think it was. And I did it because I put a post out and asked, I just felt like certain signs needed like some special attention. And I had a lot of Capricorns reach out. So I do have that special. And I think I'll connect it in the comment section for you if you choose to watch it. It was pretty good. Um, I feel like like my readings are really psychic readings. And we use the tarot as like tools to really ignite our intuition. So we're going to use 4 different decks, but we are going to add more in. We will give Mother Mary the honor of opening up your beautiful reading. Look, I already know it's going to be beautiful. We have the Gilded Tarot to clarify and go deeper. And our newest deck, which I'm using for every sign for the month of May, just to really break it in, is called Guardian Angel Messages Tarot. So I've been using it throughout the month, for the month of May. Um, and so far I'm loving them. I was intuitively guided to this deck. It takes a lot for me to like purchase a deck. I don't just purchase a deck. I have to really feel called to it. So I really felt called to it. I really didn't even have the money to buy a deck, yet I still bought it. You know what I mean? Because that's what I felt. I felt it needed to come home to us. So we'll use it as your main spread. We will use the major arcanas for like our bullet points. And depending on whether love comes into the picture, we will use the romance angels, which are right here. I will also be bringing in the clarifying love situations, whether love shows up or not. And the reason why is the messages on those cards, they really apply to much more than just love. Um, it's another deck I'm really falling in love with. So we're going to go ahead and open up your reading. But real quick, I do want to remind you that I do have a membership program. It's a new one that I started. It's under level 2. And this is for those who, want to go live with me. We're going to go live once a week where you can ask me all your burning questions. They're like mini personal readings. And I really don't limit the number of questions depending on how many people are in the room. But because it's new, so far we have one. We have quite a few on level 1, but on level 2 we have one. I'm looking for 3 more, and then we're going live. So whenever that happens, we'll be going live. But anyways, let's get back to your reading. So we're going to start with Mother Mary. I'm actually going to bring the lid down. There you go. Mother Mary for my beautiful Capricorns for the month of May. It's interesting. I say for the month of May, but many of you know that I really feel like readings are timeless. And what I mean by that is I feel like a reading will find you. It'll come across your feed. Something inside is telling you, click on it. You may be like, but I don't think I even have Capricorn in my chart. But yet something is telling you to click on it. Trust that. That's your spirit guides. So, maybe you have Capricorn in your chart, maybe you don't. But that doesn't mean that your spirit guides won't use, you know, any means possible to get a message to you. All right. We got two. We have mother. Interesting because I've been getting father a lot with Mother Mary, and now we're getting mother. I open my heart to my mother's humanness and her divinity. And then we have tenderness. Well, I am both gentle and powerful. This is the mother's energy. This is the empress's energy, the mother figure. Interesting. I am both gentle and powerful. I open my heart to my mother's humanness and her divinity. Hmm. Some of you may not have had like the best relationship with your mom, but as you move along in life, you may understand more and more. Like when I think back, yeah, I feel like my mother wasn't very emotionally loving. But then I also think, well, she was raising four teenagers at the same time in the 70s. So that couldn't have been easy because, we were hippies. um, so I understand her more than I ever have. But anyways, let's go ahead and bring in the major arcanas. And for anyone who's new, welcome to our beautiful soul family. But I want you to know that I shuffle the decks that I'm going to use for quite a bit before I even start a reading. This is just when I'm really meditating on your sign. But then I also like to give them a shuffle with you here. So let's go ahead and begin. All right, well, we open up the Fool. So we're about to take a leap of faith. This means something new is opening, and it is asking you to take a leap of faith in it. The Fool is kind of fearless. The Fool's a reminder to put the past in the past and just carry the wisdom of your experiences with you and let go of the rest if you can't, if you can. But I feel like you can. And then we have the Chariot. Beautiful. Card of Cancer. It's really about unlimited potential now. The thing with the Chariot, it's your intentions that tell this chariot where to go. So it's unlimited potential. I really love it next to the Fool. So whatever you're beginning, whatever is opening up, the potential is great. Now, do I have to know that? Do I have to believe in that? Yes. And also, to me, the Chariot is also about balance, the balance of the feminine and masculine within oneself, the light and the dark. It's all parts of oneself and finding true balance. And then it really becomes unlimited. Beautiful rainbow behind that. It's like the chariot is a vehicle for the Fool. Beautiful. Divine timing. This is Temperance. Temperance, her first message is patience. And it is about learning to trust in divine timing. That means your intuition will be ignited. Like when it's time to move, when it's time to like enter into the Fool's energy. But because we have the full, I have a feeling divine timing maybe now. I can't help but notice that she's mixing the loving waters of these two cups. To me, that is soulmate energy, but we'll see. Um, Also, card of Sagittarius. I don't know if I said that, but I do love the temperance is mirroring the full. So this fool is about to take a divine journey, like nothing to fear here. Nothing to fear here. Just need to take a leap of faith. The fool's looking back at what Mother Mary said, so I am both gentle and powerful. I feel like the fool knows that. And maybe that was part of, what I needed to know before this next step. I had to realize that I am powerful, but I'm also very gentle, you know. And there's times that you need both. Yeah, I mean, there's times you need to be powerful, but there's times you need to be gentle. So we'll see. Let's keep going. Let's bring in the main spread now. Give him a shuffle. Give him a cut. And let's begin. See where the fool's going. Oh, looks like a card just flipped over. Look at that, the chariot again. And it literally flipped over in the deck. Willpower, victory, recognition. Look at this chariot. It's like soaring. She's not using the reins, but yet the chariot has lifted off. It feels like go time. Feels like the chariot has lifted off. It's reminding me of like a rocket. We have two sevens on the board so far, 77. Some of you could have been born in 77 or relate to 77 in some way. It's interesting. I feel like every time I get temperance, it takes a while for us to get like our next cards. And I literally feel like temperance is telling me, like, be patient, Sandy. So I am. All right, we have the King of Fire, King of Wands, inspirational. Um, I'm trying to think of like what is he? It looks like it's the name of that tree, not a magnolia. I don't think. Looks like a cherry blossom. King of Wands can be Leo, um, Sagittarius, or Aries. Doesn't have to be any of that though. Could be you. But let's see. We have the Four of Swords. Look how this person is like laid back. This reminds me of like my childhood. Well, not even my childhood. Like just like my younger years, as a young adult, let's say, when I used to lay out all the time. Look at the peace sign. Interesting how I said 77, and there are a lot of hippies in 77, but this is about healing, meditation. How beautiful to meditate out in nature. We have the Queen of Pentacles. This is probably you. What's it say about her? A lot of these cards I haven't seen yet. Um, I don't look like at the pictures when I buy a deck. I bless them and do all that, but I want to reveal the image the same time that you see it. So, Queen of Pentacles, gracious, practical, capable. Well, you carry all those qualities. All right, we have, hello, sun. Beautiful, under the chariot. Success, recognition, enthusiasm. Card of Leo. This is your illuminator. I love that it's coming under this chariot because this chariot literally looks like it took flight. And then the sun, like, to me, when the sun shows up in a reading, there's nothing to fear. Everything will be clear. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. All right. We have, interesting, we have the masculine and the feminine side by side. We have the moon, intuition, illusion, revelation, masculine, feminine. And then we have the Seven of Pentacles, investment, assessment, patience. You know, why does the Seven of Pentacles ask for your patience? Well, when I look at this tree, I see this as your tree of life. I see every seed on that tree as your soul's intention, different experiences that your soul wanted to have in this lifetime. Usually, well, not usually, it means that something is coming to fruition, and it would make sense with the full being here. It's interesting, it's also coming under the Four of Swords, so I feel like some of you may have been like in this healing period, you know? It doesn't even mean like, oh, I had my heart broken, I had to heal. You just may have been like chilling out for a while, you know, doing your own thing, relaxing, getting out into nature. You know, many of us are starting to experience spring while we're in it. Um, are we officially in it? I don't know. But anyway, you know, I forgot what I was holding. So, you know, the Seven of Pentacles to me is these seeds, again, are planted by your soul. So that's why I call it your tree of life. And I feel like when you see the Seven of Pentacles, everything in the reading was meant to happen. Now, if it's difficult, some people be like, well, why was that meant to happen? Because it probably taught you something that your soul was really looking for. You know, if we remember that our soul comes down here to seek experience, to seek adventure, right? To try out different things. Looks like Archangel Michael behind him. So I kind of find it interesting that we have this the masculine and the feminine, and we have a masculine and a feminine. And in between them the two is the Four of Swords, healing. It is like both of them are sharing that chariot. I just realized. That also means they're both sharing the sun. The moon is a card of Pisces, ruler of Cancer. We have a lot of Cancer energy on the board right now. Just throwing that out there. You know, the moon can certainly, the moon only allows us to see as far as the moonlight allows us to see, right? Where the sun illuminates everything. I feel like for some of you, like some of you hold your thoughts, your feelings deep. You know, like I all of a sudden I get this feeling of like it takes me a lot to share. It takes me a lot to maybe even commit like true commitment. I'm sure it's like, going on dates and that type of thing. But I'm talking about this feels much deeper. Something feels very deep here. It's interesting just how I'm feeling it. And then if we remember that temperance is about trusting in divine timing, you have two energies that talk about patience first. But now with two chariots, that is movement. This chariot literally is in movement. This could be synchronized. You know what I mean? Like the king and the queen may have their own chariot. Who knows? Maybe they're heading towards each other and they don't even know it. Hmm. Another seven. Seven of wands. Seven of wands. Challenge. Termination. Resistance. Well, that's really what the Seven of Wands is. Seven of Wands can be the energy of defending yourself, standing your ground. Um, oh, look at this 77 back to back here. That's got to mean something. I don't know. It just feels like it means something. The Seven of Wands is coming under this Queen. So it feels like the Queen is defending something. Maybe whatever this tree is producing. Like, it's like she knows it's for her or him. And what am I going to do? I don't know. I was going to take five, excuse me, five cards across. So I think what I want to do is I'm going to take one more card on each. If we can get two cards, that would be perfect. My spiritual team, two cards would be perfect. Okay, well, we got three. All right, so we have transformation, transformation, realization, life change, liberation. Beautiful. Mirroring the chariot. Bring this down. Let me slide these over, actually. So, transformation and then mirroring the chariot, it's like, and then the way, like to help you with this transformation, we have ego, illusion, dependency, materialism. This is the devil. This is your major arcana, but it's mirrored by the sun. And then we have the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands, speed, activity, multitasking. I feel like the Eight of Wands is like the law of attraction. What I think about, I bring about. What I think about, I bring about. You know, your major arcana coming right under transformation. You know that the full, like this fool's energy is meant for you. Like you're meant to jump into the fool's energy. But then also, that means that you are putting the past in the past. This transformation may be the best thing that's ever happened because it does bring a life change. But again, mirrored by that chariot, where that chariot's already taken flight, and then the sun is like the illuminator. Really, nothing to fear here. So, some of you are manifesting, and you're manifesting quickly. And that's a good thing. put that right here. All right. We have we have the Five of Fire, the Five of Wands. Conflicts, annoyances, competition. This is drama. It's a lot of drama. Knight of Wands with that. Probably other people's drama. I have a feeling that's also why the Seven of Wands is here. You know, yes, standing one's ground. But something tells me that you're moving on anyway. Like whatever this drama was, I feel like you're moving above it, beyond it. Like you're taking flight. Even your major arcana where it says illusions, well, with the sun out, then there are no illusions. Everything will be revealed. Sometimes, that means even the hard things can be or may be revealed. But what's ever revealed, let's say if it's of a difficult nature, healing right in the middle of your reading. But also the Seven of Pentacles. So whatever I've been through, chances are has taught you something. Um, and I really mean that on a soul's level. Because I feel like this is about soul's desires now coming out. Like something is about to manifest. I love again that we have the sun. I do love that we have the masculine and the feminine. And we also have the masculine and the feminine right above. So we'll see what that means. Um, but I do feel like some of you have moved on from drama filled energy, drama filled people, just like drama. I don't feel you're interested in it anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even feel like you're interested in like defending oneself. I feel like you're interested in the next move. Like, where are we heading? Well, let's bring in the Gilded Tarot and let's find out exactly where we're heading. With your major arcana, a lot of times you can feel stuck, but it really talks about the illusion of that, and know that about yourself. You know what I mean? That these illusions can seem very real. Um, so you being very honest with yourself, I feel like is the key. But again, the sun will illuminate whatever it needs to illuminate for you. All right, well, look at this. We have the Fool again. We have some synchronicities going on. We have the Fool, the Chariot, the Fool, the Chariot. Six of Cups over the King of Wands. We have, well, hello, Ace of Swords over the Four of Swords. Could that be a ring? Maybe. I like that the Ace of Swords is coming over what feels like a very relaxed, meditative state. You know what I mean? Like there's no angst. It's just calm, chilled. I just realized this person has it's a sword. They're like ready to use that. Well, look at that. So they have a sword on their blanket, and then we get the Ace of Swords. Almost like someone was trying to manifest this sword, and therefore you did. You have the Six of Cups right next to that. So the Six of Cups talks about really happy, cherished memories. It can talk about someone that you know, but if it is someone you know, then it would be someone that you have good memories of. Yeah, it doesn't mean there was never anything difficult, but when if this is someone, when you think about them, I'm sure it would bring a smile to your face, joy to your face. I just get this feeling that this Ace of Swords is communication. And I love the way that it's coming. Like, I love that it's coming when you're in this calm, relaxed state. And I feel like you are manifesting this, whether you know it or not. Maybe this is just something that was meant to happen at this time. That could be another reason why we have transformation. Again, a life change, but it's coming from a realization. So something that you yourself, has have taken stock in. It could be like, okay, well, first of all, I feel like again, it's like I don't feel like you're interested in drama, but I do feel like you must have cleared that because again, you feel very relaxed here. The synchronicities are they're definitely here and they're very close together. Fool in the chariot, the fool in the chariot. Hmm. Six of Cups is um over the king, but also connected to the fool. All right, we have the Seven of Wands. Interesting, this queen is so connected to the Seven of Wands. But let me tell you what I feel. I feel like this queen has a specialty. And I feel like one of her specialties is helping others. Both the king and the queen are so close to this healing energy that they both might be natural healers. Now, natural healers doesn't mean that like, "Oh, okay, I got to do a business," but you can for sure. But I do feel like they're sharing that energy. And I feel like that one of this queen's specialties is helping other people to overcome. Because I don't feel her in a defensive mode. And that's certainly what the Seven of Wands can be, like someone in a defensive mode. I just don't feel that. I feel it's more about like a specialty, helping to put out other people's fires. Well, chances are she's learned how to put out her own fires. She's learned how to walk away from the things that aren't serving her or him. I feel like some of you have had like this a true realization that you do want to have maybe a better life, maybe a better love life, but maybe even in your finding. I don't know why I'm saying maybe. All right, we have the High Priestess, your intuition, and then we have the Knight of Swords. So the Knight of Swords coming over the sun, that's beautiful. And then the Eight of Wands. So the Eight of Wands, what I think about, I bring about. Okay, well, these swords seem to be like part of what you're manifesting. So whether this is communication coming in towards you or you making a decision to make communication. Again, I love that the night's coming over the sun. So anything spoken in the sun's energy will either be of the light, and if it's not, it will be very clear. Like there's no way you would miss it. I feel like what you're doing here is you're trusting more and more in your intuition. I feel like some of you are like you want this change in your life, and you do know that it does take you to take that first leap. But I feel like once you take that leap, listen, divine has your back. Eight of Swords, self-created prison over the moon. But then we get the Ace of Wands. Look at that. The Ace of Swords, the Ace of Wands over the Seven of Pentacles. Again, Seven of Pentacles to me, everything that happened is meant to happen. Everything is going to happen. You have free will. Don't get me wrong. And that's what the Eight of Swords is. It is your free will. And sometimes we create these prisons, so to speak, just out of fear of what's next, or because it's coming over the moon, maybe it's the fear of what will be next. Like, because I don't know, that could hold me in place. But everything, especially your intuition, feels like it's going to sing. It's going to be on fire. It's going to help direct you. This is about passion, ignited, action oriented. And then coming under that Ace of Swords, which is also, by the way, the Ace of Wands is mirroring the Chariot. That may be what allowed this Chariot to take flight. So for some of you, I feel like, you know, sometimes we want to know, like, if I'm going to take a chance on something, I want to know what the final destination is going to be. But that's almost impossible. And the reason why is because we have free will. Like, you are writing your book. This isn't divine writing your book. This is you and divine together, right? But your free will, it's like divine can send you all the signs, but we can ignore them. In the Eight of Swords, we can certainly ignore them, or we can be a little hesitant. I have a feeling, though, that you did break yourself free from that. And, the Eight of Swords, the only one who can break oneself free is the one who's created it. Doesn't necessarily have to be yours. This is talking about a potential relationship. It could be the other person, in like, I don't know. Yeah, everything makes me feel like, everything is moving in that direction. All right, well, let's keep going. We have justice. Carter Lieber, by the way. It's interesting. I'm going to say this, but it may not make sense to some of you. Some of you may be changing lovers, changing relationships. When justice shows up, it usually means that there may be some imbalance, and that's why the sword of justice is needed to cut ties to what was. Well, that makes sense with the Fool being your very first card, and then transformation here, but the realization. So you want to find that balance. But I also get this feeling that this queen, again, feels like it's her that helps people find this balance. So, yes, it can be relating to you. And, I would say because we're in Year of the Hermit, you definitely want to think about like what I want to bring along for the next 9 years, the next cycle. Um, and I feel like we need to take this seriously. That's what this universal year 9 is all about. So using this sword of justice to your benefit, but I also feel the ability of, for at least someone here, like, definitely feels like a natural healer. Probably has gone through some difficult experiences, but has overcome them. And because they've overcome them, it feels like now that's why I want to help. You know what it reminds me of? I'm just going to say this. I don't know why I'm thinking this, but like and this is not my life, but let's say I grew up and my dad or my mom was a police officer. And I just had so much respect for what they did that I myself ended up. It's funny, I just realized we do have mothers. So some of you may have followed like a mother's footsteps. Um, but I feel like it's in a beautiful helping way. All right, let's hello. Hello, Ace of Cups right over your major arcana. You fallen in love, Capricorn? Have you already fallen in love? Is there someone who you don't want to be part of this next journey? Only you can answer that. But I do love that the High Priestess is connected to the Ace of Cups. So transformation, realization, but spiritual realization, like it within. And then the Ace of Cups connected to that, right over your major arcana. Some of you may be proclaiming love. And then we get the Two of Wands. So it's literally showing you stepping onto this new path. Look at the aces, first of all. The Ace of Swords, the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Cups. Ace of Wands is meant to ignite the passion. So it's like that passion being ignited first. And then again, in that Four Swords, how they have that sword already lying on their blanket, but they're very laid back. Wow. It's like, again, manifesting that sword. Excuse me one second. Okay, sorry about that. I was only gone for a second. But anyways, Two of Wands, that tells me that who's ever in this Eight of Swords energy is freeing themselves because it literally is like you're saying, yes, I want to step upon this path. It feels like it does have something to do with the feminine and the masculine. I want to go underneath them also. I feel like, how can I not? How can I not? Like, I got to know more. By the way, the Two of Wands is mirroring the Fool. True. Hello, Seven of Pentacles. Look at the synchronicities. Seven of Pentacles right there. Or does this feel like it is bringing two people together that maybe were always meant to be together, but maybe this is the right time? Both people have a seed coming to fruition, and both people have the Chariot, which speaks again about unlimited potential. Both have the Fool, past in the past, and let's start creating our future today. Some of you already know who this is. And if that's the case, again, this would be someone who brings happy thoughts to your mind, not the other way around. I don't know why, but I feel like the Eight of Swords is someone else and not you. We have the Page of Wands, my little risk taker. My little risk taker. Over the Seven of Pentacles, next to the Seven of Pentacles. He's looking right at the Seven of Pentacles with this Ace of Wands right above him. Well, you hear me call the Page of Wands my Fool all the time. And one of the main reasons why, real quick though, by the way, I just realized we have the Page of Wands and the King of Wands could be growth, especially with the Six of Cups coming over that. But anyway, this page is someone I feel like, yes, they've had falls in their life, but they're the type of energy they get back up. They just get back up. It doesn't mean they get back up immediately, but they don't look at like their past, or let's just say, put it this way, the things that didn't go the way they had hoped. They don't look at it in a way of like, ah, damn, I'm going to put myself in this prison. No, they get back up again. And I even love, because I feel like the Ace of Wands is your intuition that's going to be ignited. It definitely has something to do about this Ace of Cups and this Ace of Swords. And this is the perfect energy, this Page of Wands, to accept it all. Another page, Page of Pentacles. Um, can be a younger Earth sign. We have two pages back to back. But let me tell you what the Page of Pentacles is about. It's about learning. It's about expanding. It can certainly talk about your money, but it can talk about your spirituality. You know, the Page of Pentacles knows, or at least is figuring out during this journey that I am here to learn and grow. Okay, look at this Temperance. Holy cow! Under the Ace of Cups. Well, I think when I started the reading, I said, look at Temperance mixing the loving waters of these cups. I'm really not trying to make this a love reading, but I feel like if I don't, then I'm not doing it justice. Look at Temperance connected now to that Ace of Cups. And by the way, right over your major arcana. So, you know, her first message, of course, is patience. You have two elements down here that also speak of patience. But because we have two fools now, I feel like, you know, the patience is about trusting in divine timing. Wow. Divine timing feels like it's here. And it's connected to love. By the way, the Ace of Cups to me is unconditional love. And what do I mean by that? I mean, if this is a relationship coming together, we need to remember in relationships that even if we like truly love each other, there's still ebbs and flows. And in some relationships, when there's an ebb, someone runs. But not here. This feels completely different. This feels like the type of relationship where we have the potential of it lasting forever. You know, you do have to remember that each has their own free will. But because we have such beautiful energy, you know, the only thing is the Eight of Swords, but I feel like that can be uncreated. I definitely feel like that can be uncreated. And I feel like the only reason really why someone created is because they may be somewhat uncomfortable with uncertainties. But again, remember that you're writing this story right here, right now. You know, where do you want? Like, put yourself in the fool's energy. Are you willing to take this leap of faith? And where do you want it to go? Trust your intuition. You know, your intuition is your GPS. Along with the sun, it's like I don't know how you could go wrong here. You know, can you say no to it? Of course you can. That is what free will is. You know what I mean? That's what the Eight of Swords is. But again, I just feel like it's not yours. So if it is yours, ask yourself, what is it you're afraid of? What is it that, you know, why have you created these blocks? Especially because we have the Four Swords, which is the ability to heal heart, the mind, body, and the soul. And then this passion being ignited in this most relaxing of ways. I don't know. There's something happening here. There's definitely something happening here. Something major happening here. Um, I feel like number one, I feel like you're falling in love. Some of you may already be in love, but maybe you haven't had what's the word I want to use? Maybe you just didn't know if it was the right time or not. Maybe you didn't know if you could truly commit or not. But it feels like everything is working in your favor for this relationship. The potential. I have to say potential. Because again, with the Eight of Swords, some may just say no. Uh-uh. All right. I think what I want to do is I want to just go down the middle of the reading because there's not really one card that I feel like I need to clarify. So I just want to go right down the middle. It's almost like moving the reading along. But I don't want you to forget that Temperance, which again speaks of divine timing, is actually mirroring Temperance. And the Ace of Cups means that I feel like two people are sharing the Ace of Cups, and then the Two of Wands mirroring Temperance. To me, it feels like a yes. That is connected to that Knight of Swords, so communication coming in, or you're making communication. But I do love, again, that it's through the sun's energy. You know, if there's any lies, then it'll be revealed. I don't even want to go there because I don't feel like this is about anything negative. I feel like it's a positive. Hello, world. Hello, next chapter. By the way, you can't see it here, but a lot of times you'll see the Fool right in the middle of the portal of this next chapter. I love the world's energy because I feel like it's a very spiritual time in your life. I feel like it's when you're really learning to walk hand in hand with your spiritual team, knowing that they're helping you to manifest the life that you want to manifest. But the Seven of Pentacles sometimes for me is predestined. Like some of the seeds I feel like are a soul's intention before I came into this lifetime. It may speak about love, but sometimes it's not the right time, maybe for the love of our lives. But this kind of feels like this may be the perfect time. We have the Nine of Wands. All right, so Nine of Wands, this is about reflection. But this is about reflecting back to really see your growth. Everyone behind this person is an experience, is an adventure, is something they may have had to overcome, but they did. Each one. It almost feels like life paths, but I overcame them. And this is about reflecting on your growth, like how you have grown over, let's just say, the last 9 years. This is my spirit warrior because I feel like it's bold to be able to take a look back, first of all, without judgment. You do need, like, I feel like we need to know who we are, the good parts of ourselves, but also the not so good parts of ourselves. And that's just so we can do better if we so choose. But, anyways, this really speaks about why you are the person you are today. And, being proud of that. It's almost like it's saying, now come on, Capricorn, let's do this final reflection so that we can start moving into what feels like more dreamy like energy. Oh, beautiful. The Knight of Pentacles. Wow. So this night, it's another message of patience. It's a slow moving night. It moves slow on purpose. This night tells you I come at the right time, not before, not after. It's interesting, the sirens just went off. It's like it really wants us to pay attention to this. This night to me is like guardian angel energy. And this night brings in really a blessing. And it's truly meant to enhance your life. It brings in a pentacle. And I feel like when you see the Ace of Pentacles, many times you'll see roots hanging down from it. Well, to me, that's a symbol of being able to plant that seed and it truly taking root. I feel like once we see the Knight of Pentacles, it's not a one time thing. Some of you, it is your guardian angels that are guiding you to another. And some of you may already know who this person is. I feel like I feel like as it relates to love, I feel like two guardian angels are working together. Like your guardian angel and their guardian angel, and they're working in harmony to bring this about. Now, why? Because, well, when the Knight of Pentacles comes, again, tells you I come at the right time. So it was meant to happen. How do I love the Knight of Pentacles being connected to the world, your next chapter? I love that. It's like the Knight is saying, the right time for me to come in was after this reflection, but again, not judging. It's like, how have I grown? What have I overcome? Even the things within oneself. You know, I'm a better person today. I feel it. And I feel like the Knight of Pentacles agrees with you. Yes, you are. And this is why I'm now coming in. You've done the reflection. You've cleaned house. You've cut ties to whatever you needed to cut ties to. You're willing to jump into the Fool's energy. And to me, your guardian angel, that is the perfect time. Why would I argue with that? I'm not going to. I'm going to go right below it though. And I'm going below it because the Knight is looking over at the world. If anything wants to come out. The Seven of Swords, interesting, with the Five of Wands. Interesting. Okay. I'm going to say this in the nicest way possible. I feel like for some of you, there may have been a period of time, again, when you were connected to another who maybe didn't carry the most trustworthy energy. It could have also been you. It's showing the Seven of Swords, which is like the thief in the night, but looking right at the Five of Wands, which is drama. So I feel like somewhere along the way, you had to deal with this, or it was you. And I know some people are going to get mad that I'm saying that, but I feel like we have to, with the Nine of Wands, that's why I'm saying that, because we need to be really truthful with ourselves, especially if you do want to have, let's say, the best chances at love. Well, then I need to know. All right. Well, I'm not going to leave it on that. So I want to go right below that. And I want to know more about why that came out right now. There's no way that I am predicting this for your future. This has already happened. We know that because the Five of Wands is on the bottom of the deck, but also the Knight of Pentacles would not be coming out right now if this was still going on. So this has already happened. Again, some of you have dealt with untrustworthy energy, people who have drama, or someone who's got drama. I don't, and if you got tied into this, I feel like then you have that realization now. Like, I feel like you're being very honest with yourself. And look what follows. Hello, Knight of Cups, unexpected cup of fulfillment. And then the Three of Wands, optimism. You're doing exactly what the Fool asks for you to do. Live in the present moment. This is someone who is saying to divine, I know that my ships will come in their divine timing. Whether the Knight of Pentacles would agree with you. I come at the right time. Even Temperance, right? Trust in divine timing. But we have the Two of Wands. Now we have the Three of Wands with the Knight of Cups in between. Some of you may not even plan on falling in love. You just did. Or you're going to. One or the other. Like you either have fallen in love and maybe you didn't even mean to. That's usually the way it is. Again, this Knight of Cups, it's unexpected. But it is connected to the world, so it is part of your next chapter. And I just feel like, if you're ready, then I feel like this energy is ready. It's really quite beautiful. Even the Three of Wands mirroring the Knight of Pentacles, guardian angel energy. You're trusting in this. You're trusting in divine, right? This is you living in the present moment, right where you're meant to be. Because this is where your signs are sent. And again, many times through your intuition. But you may see outward signs, like you may see 1111. It's funny, someone sent me an email yesterday, and it was just random. I don't even know who it was. But they said to me, your special number is 1111. Use it often. Wow, let me tell you, I use it all the time. When you see those, like that little round thing at the top of the screen, and it says, thank you for subbing and sharing and much gratitude for donations. I always put it at 1111. And I don't know who the person was who sent it to me. Like, I don't think they were a subscriber. I couldn't, like, trace it. So, anyways, but I feel like that was a message from the universe. Okay, I don't want to push this any further, but I am going to bring out the clarifying love situations. Capricorn, like the synchronicities are off the chart. I don't feel like you can be the Fool here twice, unless you're doing two separate things. But you can do all that in one Fool's energy. That's why I feel like this is also talking about someone else. The Fool and the Chariot, the Fool and the Chariot. The masculine and the feminine. Temperance. And that's just what I can see. All right, let's give them a cut. Give them a shuffle. I mean, how much do you love the Temperance, which is divine timing, is the one who is ushering this Ace of Cups in, where, again, this Temperance here She's mixing the loving waters of these soulmates. Wow, here it is. I mean, here it is. Okay. All right. We have fluttering heart. Your passion leads you to love. Wait. Your passion leads you to the love you desire. Your passion leads you to the love you desire. Fluttering hearts. I like that. You know, it reminds me of like the beginning of falling in love and the excitement of that. And then we have fiery balance. Embrace inner forces, offset turmoil, and stabilize with calm resolve. Well, that's exactly what I feel like you're doing in the Four of Swords. Okay. Um, since love is definitely in the picture, let's also bring out the romance angels. You know, I would imagine that the fool's energy along with the chariot can be used for whatever you want to use it for. But I do feel like love is going to show up. Some of you, may be you. Like you may already know. And it may just be the time where you're ready to make a commitment. You know, it's like, I know who I love. But it feels like two people on a very similar path. And I don't know. I just get this feeling because we're seeing temperance twice, which again is about divine timing. And I even felt the Knight of Pentacles was two guardian angels working in harmony. Well, you deserve love. You are lovable. It's like someone has their bow and arrow out. And they're about to shoot that arrow. And it's going to hit someone. Mother Mary's telling you the same thing. You know, it's important that you know that. Heart to heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. Well, I feel like that is a must. That tells me that you're connecting to someone here. And I kind of love that it's saying heart to heart conversations. You know, that feels like romantic. It could even be talking about like two people talking about like where we want to take this. I like honesty is part of it. I feel like taking one more round. Well, I didn't expect three, but we'll take it. It is safe for you to love. Open your heart, Mother Mary, open your heart. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. So, this is not a low vibrational relationship. This is a high vibrational relationship. Finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. And then, last but not least, look at this past life relationship. This is why I felt in the Seven of Pentacles, your tree of life. This is why I felt some of those seeds were predestined. This is why. You have known each other before. You may already know who this person is, but something is telling me that there's major change here. You know, It's interesting that finances says that financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. It makes me feel like maybe I feel like if I'm, let's say, going to get in a committed relationship, maybe I worry about the finances of that. But I don't feel like you have to. This could just be something you're thinking. Listen, it's going to be very hard to deny this, especially because it is past life. And I just have a feeling that, again, I don't have a feeling. I know that there are guardian angels that are working in harmony for this love to come about. It does feel predestined. It may have been something that was tried before and it didn't work out, but it just may not have been the right time. I mean, number one, with two fools here, that means the past is in the past. The lessons have been learned. The wisdom has been extracted. And now I'm ready for this new journey. It means that you're ready. Are you ready? I feel like it's going to happen no matter what. It's just going to be what's your reaction? And I don't know why, but I feel 50-50. I feel like some of you are reaching out to another, and maybe the other is someone reaching out to you. But if like a name came to you, don't be afraid of reaching out. You never know. I get comments all the time about those who were afraid to reach out, but then did, and they find that the person they reach out to is going through very similar situations or single at the same time, and then they come together. Completely unexpected. But this is not your first time around. Maybe in this lifetime, but not in past lifetimes. No wonder I felt the unconditional love of the Ace of Cups. Wow. I do feel like many of you are saying yes because, again, we have the Two of Wands, which is taking a step into it that moves into the Three of Wands. And you really are trusting in divine timing in the Three of Wands. Well, divine is not letting you down. Divine is not letting you down. Don't let yourself down. Wow, what a reading. What a reading. We have very little energy of the past. And what we have of the past, we have clearing. We have a lot of energy starting from present moment, moving forward. So for many of you, this hasn't happened yet. You may know the person, but it hasn't happened, not at least in the Ace of Cups way. And your intuition being connected to that, really trust that. Some of you, I feel like you're having this realization that maybe you already do love someone. And maybe you are saying those words. The connection, I want to say is rare. I don't know why, but it feels that way. Like this is a rare type of love. Almost like not everyone gets to experience this in their lifetime, but you do. So what you gonna do? What you gonna do? All right, I think I'm just gonna leave it right there. I feel like there's no sense of pushing it. I feel like your reading is very clear. And if you don't feel that, sometimes you might have to watch it twice. Wow. All right. I'm going to let that be, guys. Again, I will connect that special reading I did for you under the comment section for you. I might even put it on an end screen. End screens are like 4 videos I recommend when this video ends, you'll see end screens. So anyways, wow. And I get the sense of keeping your eye open for 1111. I know that was a message to me, but I almost feel like I was meant to tell you. All right, I'm going to let that be. I love you guys. Truly. Each and every one of you. I mean, we are soul family. I know that. And I 100% trust that who's ever meant to hear this reading, your spiritual team will put this reading in front of you, whether it's now, if you're ready now, or whether it's a month from now. It's whatever is divine timing for you, the right timing. The synchronicities are off the chart, truly off the chart. I love this reading, and I love you. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye bye.